Good morning everyone. I am Ashwan Pandey, representative of Paschimanchal English School. I am here to present a presentation on the topic scarcity of potable water in developing countries such as Nepal, Bangladesh and India, especially in Nepal. Presented by Ayushman Pandey, Meera Balmas, Akshita Upadhyay, Anshika Tripathi and Afifa Amber Khan. First of all, geographical region of Nepal. The orange color denotes the Tarai region of Nepal. The green color denotes the hilly region of Nepal. And the blue color denotes Himalayan region of Nepal. The first slide we have is Tarai region. Starting with Tarai region. Why scarcity? Shallow tube wells in Tarai are contaminated with arsenic and pathogens. Seasonable shortage in dry months. For example, Bhairava city. High iron and arsenic content in groundwater. Poor filtration. Contamination from industrial effluents. Second example we have Butol city. Rapid urbanization causing water scarcity. Pollution from unmanaged sewage and iron contamination. 1.2. How is scarcity caused in Tarai region? The first reason we have is groundwater depletion. Over extraction of groundwater for irrigation and domestic use lowers the water table. In simple words, we can say that excessive use of groundwater causes scarcity of water. Second, we have pollution. Contamination by groundwater by industrial waste and sewage makes water unsafe to drink. The third, we have flooding and siltation. Seasonable floods and sediment decomposition can clog wells and pollute surface water. Unequal distribution. Poor infrastructure and limited access to deep tube wells cause local shortages.
Namaste everyone, it's me Akshita Upadhyay. Today I am going to describe about scarcity of potable water in hilly region. This picture shows the scarcity of potable water in hilly region. Why scarcity? Springs and small streams in hills get contaminated with fecal matter and agricultural runoff, seasonal drying of water sources during dry months. For example, Pokhara city. Increased demand due to urban expansion, contaminated from sewage and agricultural runoff. Seasonal turbidity, which means water become cloudy during certain seasons, and reduction in water sources during dry months. Next example is Kathmandu city. Severe water shortage to high population and dependence on groundwater, contaminated from untreated sewage and industrial effluent. Insufficient and aging water distribution system are the main causes of scarcity in hilly region. Next is how is scarcity caused. First point is drying springs. Traditional water resources such as springs and streams are drying up due to deforestation, landslide and climate change. Next is uneven rainfall. Irregular monsoon pattern lead to seasonal water shortages. Difficult terrain. Transportation and maintenance of water supply system such as pipes are challenging. Population pressure. Growing settlements increase demand for limited local water resources. This picture shows the scarcity of potable water in hilly regions. Why scarcity? Glacial meltwater and mountain spring are affected by climate change. Contamination from human and animal waste. Limited access to safe drinking water during winter months due to freezing and difficult terrain. For example, Mustang district. Water scarcity due to drying of springs and low rainfall. Contamination from open defecation. Defecation means the act of passing tool and animal waste. Difficult terrain limit water supply system. Next example is Humla district. Limited surface water resources, freezing of water in winter, contamination from poor sanitation, and lack of proper waste management. How is scarcity caused in Himalayan region? First point is glacial retreat and climate change. Melting glaciers initially increase flow, but long-term retreat reduce sustainable water supply. Next is extreme cold. Water resources often freeze in winter, limiting availability. Next point is sparse infrastructure. Remote villages lack proper water supply system and purification facilities. And last point is low precipitation, means some high altitude area receive little rainfall.
Hello everyone, I am Ansika Tripathi. As we all have saw several causes among all the regions including hilly Himalayan and Tarais. Let's summarize all these causes across all the regions. So here you can see the causes across all the regions. Let's go through each points one by one. First is climate change. It alters the rainfall patterns and water availability. Next point is population growth. As we all know, population rate is increasing day by day. So more population rate equals to more water demand, which leads to scarcity. Our next point is poor water management. There is lack of maintenance, poor planning and coordination between local bodies. Our next point is population and sanitation issue. We can see this problem especially in the rural areas. There is a problem of open defecation. It is a process of passing human waste that has impacted available safe drinking water, and others are waste dumping into rivers, lakes. So here you can see the pie chart. This pie chart illustrates the major causes of potable water scarcity in developing countries. So first and major cause is climate change and hydrological variability. Hydrological variability means the natural disturbance in the flow of rivers that impact the species. So it has impacted by 28%. Next is water pollution. It has impacted 26% in general term. Next is inadequate infrastructure or lack of infrastructure, which has impacted by 20%. Next point is rapid population growth and urbanization, which is impacted by 16%. Next is poor governance and water management, which have impacted 10%. So here is specific for Nepal, that is climate change and hydrological variability, which has impacted 25% in the context of Nepal. Next is water pollution, which has impacted 30%. After that, inadequate and sustainable infrastructure, which has impacted 20%. Next is rapid population growth and urbanization, which has impacted 15%. After that, poor governance and water management, which is impacting 10%. Here we have done comparative study on urban and rural areas. Urban areas are those which are densely populated and have developed infrastructure, while rural areas are those which have low population and have undeveloped infrastructure. So let's compare this both areas in some aspects. First, urban areas. It has rapid population growth, over extraction of groundwater, aging or inadequate water supply infrastructure, while as rural areas relies or dependent on wells, springs and small streams, seasonal shortage during dry months, limited access to filtration and treatment systems. So here we have a bar chart for consumption and production. Consumption means the water which is being accessed, while production means how much it is available. So here you can see 95% of the people are being access to the water, and here is per capita consumption. Per capita consumption means water that is available for one people. So consumption of one people, you can see here is 70%. After that, per capita production, which is 95%. After agricultural demand, which is which is also 95%. After that, urban water demand, which is 10%. So in this bar chart you can show that production and agricultural uses have increased while urban water demand is also increasing. So lastly, if we utilize our water resources properly, that ensures that everyone get enough water for drinking.
Hello everyone, myself Mira Balmas. We have seen several factors causing the scarcity of potable water resources in Nepal. Now let us explore some of the government policies Nepal government has launched to conserve and preserve it. Let us explore all the policies each one by one. In the first we have Water Resources Act of 1992. This policy was launched in 1992 by the government of Nepal across the whole nation. It aims to provide management and develop the available water resources, and it was effective as it provides a foundational and legal based foundation on water uses. It was also not effective because it does not address the multi-sectoral dimension of the management fully. In the next, we have Water Resources Rules of 1993. This policy of 1993 was also launched by the government of Nepal across the whole nation. It aims to frame rules and regulations on how we should use and conserve the water resources. It was not effective as it faced many challenges regarding the integrated management. In the next, we have National Water Plan of 2005. This policy was launched by the Water and Energy Commission Secretariat WECS and also have been approved by the Nepal. This policy was also launched across the whole nation. This aims to lay down a short-term, medium-term and long-term action plan, policies and strategies to conserve the water resources. The plan was very generic but still unimplemented due to some political changes in Nepal. Next, we have Constitutional Rights of 2015. This policy was launched in 2015 by the Federal Constituent of the Nepal. It was also launched in the whole nation. It aims to ensure that every citizen get the right to have a basic drinking water, and this was effective also, non-effective also. Let us go through each. It was effective as it provides legal based foundation on the rights, but non-effective because its actual implementation still remains challenging due to various factors. At the last, we have the National Water Resources Policy of 2020. It is the recent policy which was launched in 2020 by the Ministry of Energy, Water Sources and Irrigation. This was also launched across the whole nation. This policy aims to conserve, manage and develop the water resources. It was effective as it accepts the multi-sectoral dimension, but not effective also because it has not been fully accessed yet. So these were the 5 policies we have been through. Let us hope that we will all follow these policies to conserve more water possible.
Hello everyone, I am Afifa Amar Khan. Today I am going to talk about sustainable cities and communities of Nepal. Sustainable means people will live in a clean, safe and eco-friendly environment with a proper use of natural resources. For example, we have Dhankuta. Dhankuta located in Nepal, eastern Nepal in hilly region. It is very beautiful city of Nepal. Let me show you why it is sustainable. First, we have Watershed Management Plant, which technically support from International Center for Integrated Mountains. It also develop and implement a comprehensive Nebua Tankhua water source management plant. Second, we have Spring Revolve and Groundwater Recharge. It improve year-round water supply and constructing recharge ponds and tanks near forest to capture resources. Third, we have rainwater harvesting. It reduces reliance of scarce sources and help in groundwater research. Second example we have Lalitpur. It is also very beautiful city of Nepal. Let me show you some examples of it also. So first we have restorations of traditional water system which actively working to conserve and manage traditional spout and wells and also involve community based management, population control and culture preservance. Second we have rainwater harvesting and groundwater recharge. It promotes collection of rainwater both at household and community level and also supply water supplies. Third we have wastewater management and sanitation. It improves infrastructure by working towards better sewer system and develop treatment facilities. Now let's talk about interrelation of clean water and sanitation. So first we have increased access. You can see in 2000 it was 35%, but in 2016 it goes up to 95%. Second we have sanitation empowerment. In 1990 it was 5%, but in 2016 it goes up to 96%. Third we have hygiene facilities. In 2006 it was 65%, but in 2020 it was 85%. So here it is today for all.
Now, after this much research, we have got our personal views, which states like if one or two cities of a country can get sustained, why can't the others? If almost the cities of a country can get sustained, it will automatically sustain the whole country. Sustainability of one country will lead to the sustainability of other countries, then continent, and eventually the whole world will get sustained. That was our personal views which we have added here.
What do you all say? Are we all in? Let's together do it. Save water, save life. Every drop counts. Conserve water, conserve life. Water is precious, don't waste it.